this platform, trying to get it launched. But welcome if it's your first time joining. I'm Josh. Welcome to the Clarity Cafe, and this is sort of the Sunday reset. So basically, what this is I try to provide guidance, insight. Not try. I offer guidance and insight for those seeking clarity. Whatever the case may be, health, wellness. You've got blockages and issues. So I work as a medium, as a clairvoyant and intuitive, you could say, all kind of bundled up together. And that's kind of what I do here. Let me see. I'm going to try and flip this. Is locked, rotate device back. Oh, I can't do that. Man, I don't know what it is with YouTube. Me and YouTube are just we're not jiving right now. Um, so yeah. This is what it's about. So yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm just offering clarity on challenges you may be having during your journey, right? I mean, look at what's happening on the planet right now. It's pretty chaotic. And I've come across a lot of people, clients that I'm working with, that are going through some pretty severe health challenges. I wouldn't say crisis, but challenges. And I think there's a lot of distraction out there when it comes to it, right? There's so many. Let's see here. I'm kind of like making some adjustments here to see what's. Nope. What is that? Oh, that's a screen share thing. I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to do green screen. I'm actually trying to look for the chat window. If there is a chat window, I don't know. Don't see one. Um, so that's basically what this is. It's an opportunity for some Q&A and to ask questions, get feedback. Who knows? The feedback may help you out. Maybe it won't. A lot of times, people I work with, I work remotely. So I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant, and clairvoyant. See, hear, feel, sense, and sometimes um, see, hear, feel, sense, and sometimes smell. Yep. And I think more and more people are having their own abilities kind of come online based on the frequencies and the things that are happening on the planet right now. And I see a lot of people, a lot of influencers and creators all over between TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Everyone's got their sort of modus operandi in the way to assist and support you. And the thing that I've always talked about is like, as above, so is below. And what I attempt to do is shorten the distance between 2 points, the things unseen and the spaces in between. And a lot of times people are just looking at things from a very linear 3D, one dimensional space. And what I offer, I'll put them in the links below. I actually had it in the original setup that I had here, but I've got an old outdated Mac, and I'm working on getting another one. And so yeah, I had this all set up. I will add the links, but I do one-on-one bookings with people, 30 minutes, an hour. Typically, that's usually a good place to start. And then I can work on, booking longer time. But it's really not about me being a crutch for you. It's more about you being self-empowered, sovereign, relying on your own innate intuitive abilities, talents, skills, and gifts, because you have them. They may just be dormant, right? So sometimes it's like it's like if you, I don't know, I'm using the analogy as a kid, like when children are around other kids playing or doing something similar to what they want to be doing, they actually adapt and grow and learn and participate a lot easier than if they're doing it on their own, because we are communal and we learn. It's like a frequency shield, right? So if you're in a playground and you watch kids, we're the same way. We're just, adults, and we need to bring back that childlike essence, right? Where we're playful and, supple, and we're not vulnerable. There is some beauty in vulnerability. I think a lot of people take advantage of the vulnerability, but when that energy is there. That's when these skill sets actually activate, because that's what it's based on. It's based. There's a great book. I've mentioned this before. It's called The Mutant Message Down Under by Marlo Morgan, I believe, and basically it's about a woman from the Midwest. I don't remember. It's a fictional story, but there's a lot of truth. Definitely some truth nuggets being dropped in the book, and she talks about, just her you read it, I mean, you see it in the transformation from this Midwestern woman going on a walkabout with an Aboriginal um, crew in Australia for 6 months, and her life is completely transformed on a multidimensional scale. Things that she no longer, she like, you just see this. Well, obviously it's a book, but you're just seeing the transformation, this metamorphosis that happens with her, from someone that shows up in Australia with dresses and diamonds and lipstick and nail polish and makeup, and all of that slowly falls by the wayside. And what emerges is this beautiful spirit, this soul that's always been there, but it's been dormant. But based on being in this circle of this indigenous um, family, this group, her skills, her talents, all of these innate abilities begin to come online, right? And then, she asks a lot of questions. By asking questions, when we ask questions, it's like something, it's interesting because I work by invitation, right? And I'll throw a little human design into this as well, if you're familiar with that. I'm a projector, so I work by invitation, right? Meaning that it's almost like that film Beetlejuice, right? Say it 3 times, and then he shows up. Similarly, when people ask questions, there's an opening, there's an energetic opportunity to receive information. What you do with that information is up to you, but that's basically what happens. The space opens up and you are able to now receive, as opposed to if I start dumping unsolicited information to you, right? Like here, if you're listening to me right now, you're joining in, or you're just lurking, and I start dropping things and telling you what to do, that's unsolicited information. You're not interested, scroll, right? It's the way it works. It's what most of us do when we're not interested. If there's not a like frequency, a conjoining frequency of broadcasts, it's like, the cosmic radio station. You know, you tune into something, and if that thing jives with you and it aligns with you and it's your vibe, your tribe, boom, you're in. And that's kind of what I do with the wonderful folks that I work with. They're on a journey. We all are. I mean, I work with mentors and other people too, and it's teacher student, student teacher, and you're just always trying to learn, adjust. I say adapt, improvise, overcome. So if you're watching this on the replay, hey, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're from. If you're tuning in, if you have any questions based on what I'm talking about. Hopefully I'll get these technical issues worked out. I actually tried a half hour before I went live. It's like, all right, let's see if I can get this going on my laptop. And it just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm supposed to be on my mobile device. So here we are. Um, what else? And I'm not sure. Hopefully this is being, I don't know if the algorithm pushes this out, but yeah, so that's really what this is. Uh, this is what this is all about. Let me try something here. I don't have anything really to share in the background. Yeah. I was going to do a screen share on some things having to do with cognition and other things, but I don't have the slides here to do that. So I'm not going to offer that right now. For a second, shirt was uploaded to your channel as unlisted. I don't know what that was all about. I'm just pushing buttons here, so hopefully I don't lose you. There we go. None, right? What is this? Chat filter, community moderation. Yeah, we got that. Translate. Yeah. Well, this isn't showing anything either, right? What's that? No, that's cool. Don't want that. Nothing, right? Green screen. Don't need a green screen. Okay. So there we go. Enough of playing with buttons and stuff like that. What's this? Okay, don't know. Is that mic? No, that's sound. So we got sound. We're good there. Right. Add a Q&A. Add a Q&A sticker. Sure, I could do that. But anyway, so this is what it's about. It's clarity, and I think we're all seeking clarity, and that's what this channel or this live is about. So, and that's what's fun for me, and also for the participants when they come on. I may start doing this on TikTok as well. I think it's just got a little bit easier interface until I can get this adjusted. Um, but yeah, it is fun. And when things really begin to hum and people get clarity and get answers, man, the lights come on and people are just like, you know, it's like sometimes it's right there in front of your face and you just don't see it for whatever reason. Whether it's lack of dopamine, where, you can see, but you can't perceive, right? I think Dr. Jack Kruse, Kruse, talks about that a lot. And I think a lot of people, depending on their lifestyle, their food, if they're indoors in front of these things all day, phones, tablets, TVs, computer screens, the blue light really messes up um, our neurology. In fact, when you're in front of a phone, do you blink? I try to blink as much as I can because it resets the neural pathways. And usually we're just like, you know, dazed and confused in front of the devices. So remember to blink, right? Um, but if there's anybody out there that's got a question, anything, you're lurking, you want to check this out, drop one in here. I think I'll find it. I'm sure I'll find where the questions are. Or if it does pop up, I'll see it. And it's okay if you don't want, if you're just lurking, just observing, that's cool. Hopefully you'll drop in on the replay, or if you have something to say at the end. Um, but what else did I want to share? Actually just wanted to interact. So it's not really a lecture. And I think going toward the next several days, I don't even like to use the words anymore. It's like, welcome to the weekend. You mean like I get the weekend of the deal? I know a good friend of mine, Laurel, not a good friend, but I've known her, Laurel Erica. I recommend her, Laurelarica. She does the thing with language. She's like a wordsmith and just the casting spells with words, right? So we use these words like look for the week ahead. Are you spelling it WEAK, right? And just the sound of the word, like I can't wait for the weekend. I don't want the weekend. I want the strong end or the strong beginning. So, even though I say Sunday reset, it's really more about a strong several days ahead that we're going to hit our goals or make a shift, even if it's one thing, right? Making a shift for one thing. I do what I can to break up my pattern. When I break up a pattern, we tend to get into these patterns, right? You get up, you go to the gym, you go for a walk, you eat, whatever it is, always trying to break that up so that we develop new neural pathways, neurons, new neurodendrites. And that helps to also expand and build our multi-dimensional sensory perceptions. There's more than seven, I'll tell you that right now. There's probably at least 15. Um, and once we develop those, lots of cool things begin to happen. I mean, there's a lot of people you may see doing remote viewing. Remote viewing is quite phenomenal. It's another way of, non-localized connection, right? You can be present. I'll tell you a story. This is interesting. Um, so a long time ago, I mean, my path I've been on this, spiritual, multidimensional path for a number of years, more than I'd say 30. I'm about 60. I'm going on 64. So when I was younger and I lived in Los Angeles, I was involved with this collective, this group. It was a Japanese organization called Tsukyo Mahikari, right? And basically, there's a lot of Japanese tradition, and there's there's a Gohansen, there's an altar, there are these dojos and centers, and it's kind of like Reiki or Jo-Ray, if you've ever heard of those. You're giving light, or you learn to read Japanese, ancient Japanese, and you give light. Anyway, I done this for like 3 4 years. I practiced this, and then um, I left, and I met a young man there, and he was kind of an androgynous character, very bubbly, childlike, very. But he was younger than me, but he was sort of like a mentor for me. And I was out doing, and this has to do again with like remote work, right? And this isn't something I took any, um, I had any lessons in, or any teachings, or any practice. I think this is just an evolutionary thing. It's something I've had within me, and when the right circumstances present themselves, the talents or the abilities surface, or they get activated. Okay, maybe you can relate to that. So um, one evening I was driving. That's where I met him. That's why I prefaced with that body of work. And I was into another body of work known as Keylontic science, the science of light, sound, symbol codes, and the base codes of matter. And this is right around, I think, 2002, three, I think. Anyway, so I'm driving. Back then, we had those big flip phones, right? Hello. And so I'm driving in my car, and I was coming away. I actually was heading. I was leaving from some friends of my mother's at the time. It was this gay couple. One guy, they're Buddhist, and one guy's like a computer tech. I had to drop off a computer at the place, and I was hanging with them for a while. Really cool guys. So, um, so I'm driving, and this buddy of mine calls, and he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just left my mom, friends of my mom's. I'm heading home." He goes, "Hey, why don't you go back there?" Like, he just randomly says that. I mean, like, you mean physically drive? No, 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 no. Pull over and let's do something cool. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I pull over into the side street, right? I get off the free because I get on the freeway. This is Los Angeles, and I pull over. I'm on my phone, turn my car off, right? So I got the phone in my ear. I'm listening to him, and I'm, he's saying, okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to go back to where you just were, not physically, but project there, right? He's kind of guiding me. I'm like, he's telling me this. I'm like, all right, sure, sure. So, like, I close my eyes while I've got him on the phone the whole time, right? And so I close my eyes, and next thing I know, my consciousness, my perception is on the ceiling. Like, I am looking sort of to where the corners meet in the room, right? Like at the corner access. And he says, just remember, you're an observer here, right? And I'm like, okay, I have no preconceived idea of what's about to happen, or what's going on. So all of a sudden, as I'm on the phone, I'm floating forward toward the corner of the room. I'm not telling him this, but he goes, "Hey, stop." He says this on the phone, right? Stop. I'm like, what? And he goes, pull back, right? Remember, you're an observer. I'm like, okay, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm not, giving him the narrating what's going on. He's obviously remoting, or by what I ended up learning is it's by location. So he can see me in the field. Now, whether this wasn't through the astral, I don't really know all of the mechanics of it. I just know that this was effortless for me. So the reason I'm sharing this is that this is a skill set that got turned on, however it did. And what I'm saying is, I believe everyone has this ability to do that, but some come in a little bit more equipped than others. Doesn't mean that it's not possible. So, um, so I pull back, right? Here's where it gets interesting. So in that corner of that room of the friend's house, of my mother's friend's house, right, down comes from the ceiling. I don't see above the ceiling. Like, my perception is like at the ceiling level. So about what, 8 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet up. And down comes this translucent lavender cylinder, like a vortex, right? And then down come like these insects, I would say. Like, there were, like, must have been 15 or 20 of them. They come down, They spread out on the floor, right? And I'm like, dude, what? He goes, oh, they're like mantises. I'm like, and I'm not, again, I'm not narrating, telling, I'm just like reacting. And he's going, oh, they're just, and then my vision pierces over, right? And, and I see the two guys that were there. They're just facing each other. And one of the mantises goes over and like puts this whatever lavender stuff. It's like, it's got electricity coming out of its fingers and goes around this one guy, right? And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what? The guy's name is Bruce. So I'm like, Bruce, what's going on? It's going, oh, he's just being rewired. Like it's like a healing thing happening on a different density level. Okay. And I have no, like I said, no preconceived idea of what's actually happening. But this is the point of this. This is bilocation. I am present on a phone with him here in 3D while simultaneously observing this thing and narrating it to him, where he's, we're both going back and forth. Totally blowing my fucking mind away. Like, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. And there's a caveat, not a caveat, but there's a nugget to this, to all of this, that I'll tell you about in a minute. And so I'm seeing this, and and there's all these other little ones, or whatever. I would say little. They're like these golden color. They're roaming around, and like right below me, I see this one. It's like grabbing something off a shelf, and it grabs it. Like they're looking at things and I don't know. They're checking things out, and it drops it. And I see that, and while I'm on the phone, I go, "Whoops!" And it looks up at me, and it waves its claw like hi. And I don't tell Bruce this. He goes, "Oh, it's just a baby mantis saying hi to you." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like it was beyond my comprehension. So I'm like waving to it, and then all of a sudden, this must have happened within like 5 minutes, right? All of a sudden, all of them, wherever they were, they just sort of like hovered back over to the vortice, to the tube, went up the tube, and then the tube went up. The one gentleman was still on the floor. Now he was not sitting in a chair with the stuff around him. He was laying on the floor in fetal position, and there was like this electric current, almost like he was in this cocoon, or this womb, this plasma womb, and he was just laying there, right? And I said, Bruce, I said, so what's it's just he's in recovery. I'm like, wow, this is beyond the beyond. And so all of a sudden, and then from where I was, I'm on the phone with him. All of a sudden, from the bottom up comes up like this black screen. Like it's just all like looks like a piece of black crumbled construction paper, and then across it were four lines, like right, and they were rainbow colored EKG. They were like, boop, 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 boop. And then I just opened my eyes. I'm still on the phone with him. He's like, "Yeah, that was cool. You were just an observer watching your friend get a healing session." Now, I'm going to fast forward to this. There's a book in this body of work called Keylontic Science called Voyagers. There's three books: Voyagers, the Secrets of Amenti, Voyagers, The Sleeping Abductees, and Voyagers, Angelic Realities by Ashiana Dean. They came out in 1998, 1999. So I opened the book. This is like a week later. I'd come back, or I don't know if I was already studying this work or look. I went back to the book, and I opened the book, and she talks about intruders and visitors, okay? Extraterrestrial, metaterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial. And so there's a picture of like this thing with like antennas coming out, and it's a mantis. It's like a praying mantis. It's one-dimensional drawing that she drew, and they're called the Athean. And they work with the Zeta, and there was all this information. But the point being of all this, and you can make of it what you will, but this happened. I wasn't under any drugs, anything at all. This is just something that happened. And these type of anomalous events happen to people all over the world all the time. Many people don't talk about it. This is the first time I'm ever talking about it on here. So for what it's worth, take it, leave it. If you can relate to it, have had a similar experience, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Let us know. But that, in and of itself, is an experience that's just one of many. And again, If you've never had any experience, does that mean that you don't have these abilities? No. There's a place and a time. I just call it divine right timing, you know? When you are ready, suffice it to say, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And by teacher, that teacher could be a tree. That teacher could be, um, I don't know, someone homeless on the street. I think we have expectations of what, a guru, a teacher, a spiritual person, they've got beads or, wearing certain type of spiritual clothing that, gives them the authority, right? But it's not about that at all. It's just not. Um, I think when you're ready and you know, people show up. It's like if you align with this and you want to interact and relate and you feel that our energy is compatible, then we connect. It just happens. And that's where the bridges are built and the connections happen and the synapses light up and the pathways and the expansion and the growth and the healing, boom, it lights up. And so I hope this gives you some preview into some things that you can look forward to. Not just with me here, but on your journey. You know, if you've arrived here, then there's a frequency, there's a connection that you've made to come here, even to watch this for a minute or the whole 26, 27, 30 minutes I'm gonna be on here. Um, but I want to inspire you to definitely take the time, um, sit with yourself, right? I mean, one of the first mentors I had, when he revealed to me, and not that I needed to hear it from him, but it was like he says, "You're a medium," right? And I was a smartest guy, medium rare, medium well, medium done. I go, "What's the difference between a psychic and a medium?" And he's telling me, "Well, all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. And there's, all different types of mediums. There's, clear abilities." And so I dove into all this stuff. And I've been doing this for a number of years behind the scenes, not so much on social media. So I've just been inspired and guided to bring this forward publicly. Um, I am working with a handful of people. It's not quantity. I wouldn't even say it's quality. It's just my bandwidth. Um, and, that's why I like coming on here to try and interact. Um, there is no time and space. So, we can do things on here. I mean, I can share information, but to go really deep, it's better to do it one on one. It's personal, it's private. I create a sealed field. Um, I look after spiritual hygiene before interacting. I think a lot of people that are out there that do this, they mean well, but they don't. I don't know. They don't have spiritual hygiene, as far as I can tell. I don't see, hear, feel everything. I'm always growing. Um, you know, um, I'm just trying to unlearn things that no longer suit me. Just like shedding old belief systems or old ideologies or old personifications. When people meet, personalities meet first, not the people, because everyone's got their defenses up. They're not really authentic, and that's understandable because people are being attacked, judged, ridiculed, persecuted, made fun of, trolled, blah 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 blah. Bleh. I'm not about that. So if you are someone that's looking for some sincere, compassionate, loving, guidance, care, um, I'm here for you. And I do have a community on Skool, Skool. I will probably have that in the link below. You can join that community. There's some questions because I try to kind of weed out trolls, marketing people that are just there to just, not participate. It's a community, so there's interaction. I'm kind of redesigning that now, and that'll be up sooner than later. There'll be different tiers, so there'll be a free part, there'll be paid, there'll be two, yeah, free, a middle, and a top tier. So people that want a lot of more serious one-on-one guidance and are really ready to make the shifts and changes in their lives, not just talk about it, but just take action. Um, Action takers, not excuse makers. And that's what I'm looking to align with. So if that's you, I look forward to connecting with you. Seriously. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to cut this off. Yeah, it's almost, yeah, 30 minutes. Um, and I think next Sunday at 7 p.m., hopefully this will be a little bit better. We'll have a better setup and it'll flow a little bit better. But if you're catching this on the replay, like I said, um, drop a comment below if you have a question. If there's something I mentioned that you didn't understand, let me know. I will respond to you. And I hope you're having a great day. Stay healthy, my friends, and I will catch up with you next week, right? All right. Cheers for now.